Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we're going to cover an important topic for lightworkers, starseeds, and other energy frequencies that do not feel that they're from this planet, but feel that they have an important mission on the planet in this lifetime. And it is definitely being cranked up here into 2024. So we're going to talk about the energies of the USA Pluto Return and how it is specifically activating light workers and starseeds. As you hold a different frequency, you came in with a very clear understanding of what you could elevate and offer the planet. You have an understanding of energies, consciousness, and perhaps even a deeper awakening to your own soul mission. And all of that energy is going to become even stronger and brighter over the next few years. And it's important to understand some other energies that are in play at this time, as well as what you may be experiencing in your life that catches you off guard or by surprise because you didn't maybe understand that you have and hold specific karma. And this is the karmic rewards. These are the karmic energies of where you've held light on the planet across multiple lifetimes. And you've been in a very deep service to the planet across multiple timelines and lifetimes. And you have come to this planet. You have chosen at a soul level to be here on this planet during some of its darkest phases and cycles. And that is also why you're present at this time on Earth. Because as we go through a very deep transformational era, it's activating more within you that is going to show you more of your truth, your strength, your power, your abilities, and also the beautiful reasons why you're different. Now, that is, of course, a very vague word to use, but what I mean by different is that you could have felt throughout your whole life your energy didn't fit here. You didn't know where you quote unquote belonged. You didn't understand what you were even doing here. What's this lifetime about? Why do I not really have any interest in the status quo or in following what we've called a traditional path? Why do I always feel like I'm the oddball out or the black sheep of the family? Why does it feel like I am so different from those around me? You've been through so many deep changes in your lives. You've had to undergo a lot of transformation and perhaps face some big things in yourself that you weren't even aware of. You've accumulated that dark night of the soul punch card. You've been able to keep going to rise above. You've made commitments to your own healing, your own journey, your own self-understanding. Perhaps that's even why you've stumbled upon astrology or numerology or other tools that help you go deeper into yourself, like human design and various energy systems that help pinpoint more of exactly who you are as a unique being of light, in order to experience a validation and understanding around your energy and your purpose in this lifetime. And no doubt it has pushed you to the limits you didn't know you had, pushed you over the edges at times, required so much more from you, required you to work through a lot of deep healing themes, emotional work, shadow work, perhaps trauma and abuse, and things that your energy has been holding or absorbed. You can feel that you're just energetically composed in a different way in terms of the energies you hold, your interests, your passion, what you're about, and what you feel called to do in this lifetime. All of that is going to be further emphasized over this decade, and it's requiring you to stand stronger in your light to ensure that you are really holding and embracing your fullness, your full journey, everything you've learned about yourself, everything that you're able to accept and understand about your own uniqueness and why it's necessary on the planet, because that is going to become stronger and clearer into 2024 and beyond. So the game is on. This is the time when star seeds are needed more than ever to invigorate the planet and the overall matrix, the overall grid, with more light, and to truly anchor it in, anchor it down, because this is an important time period for changes on the planet. And this is where there is going to be even further separation that we're going to feel, sense, and see. And this is where you're going to see how your light affects others, how the container of energy you've been holding matters, is important, has an effect on the overall collective energy as well as on the planet, and why it's essential right now to stay the course and to stay higher, to stay above the fray, and to really anchor in to 5D energy frequencies more regularly, more frequently, as your new way of beingness. And that's going to look different and feel different for every single person. Yet the intention is vital. The understanding is important, because there are energies that have changed on the planet and that will continue to change on the planet. And that's why this light energy is needed now. So specifically, I'm looking at the USA Pluto Return energies, which started in February 2022 and go until late 2023. Although over the span of this time, Pluto will enter Aquarius, come back into Capricorn, and then fully leave Capricorn in 2024. So the energy of Pluto in Capricorn stretches into 2024, specifically November 2024, before it fully enters Aquarius and brings about new levels of transformation and change. So over the time period of Pluto's journey through the final degrees of Capricorn, there is going to be a lot changing, a lot that's going to continue to be complete and end. And so we can see this in the world around us. And of course, we're aware of how big these energies are. But the truer significance for so many starseeds and lightworkers is that it's also triggering your deeper cellular and soul memories of other times that civilizations have been challenged, where other civilizations have been permanently shifted. And what they're showing me is how it takes us back to the Atlantis timeline, and how the energies of Atlantis falling created a huge imprint in our energy fields, because there was a part of our soul mission that was there to build up Atlantis into a thriving long-term society. But instead, what happened is that the Atlantis energies were not in balance. And that is a theme right now that we're aware of on the planet, is that when there are energies out of balance, it can be very destructive. So what we're seeing is that part of what's unfolding here is that we're seeing how many themes are playing themselves out that we've experienced across multiple timelines. And it brings up a deeper question, which is, what if Atlantis never fell? What if Atlantis could have been balanced? What if Atlantis overcame corruption, betrayal, deception, manipulation, propaganda? What if Atlantis never fell and was instead balanced. And that is, in fact, why so many starseeds are on the planet now, because you are working with your own Atlantis timelines. You are working with your own experiences and what you're here to do differently, to do in a new way, to do in a fresh way, and to do from a higher conscious point. This is a key part of our soul growth in this lifetime, is to show up with a different frequency and to maintain it during the turbulence, darkness, confusion, and turmoil that is unfolding. And these are all shadow masculine energies that are continuing to affect the planet at large. And a big part of our joint collective mission is in standing in the power of the higher frequencies of both masculine and feminine energies, which is why you've been required, pushed, and forced to do so much of that internal work, to heal yourself all the way down to that root chakra, because that root chakra is connected with our primal energies, our fight or flight. But we're evolving that. When we evolve the root chakra past those primitive reactions and responses, we really feel the shift in ourselves. And that is then what is felt in our world, in our personal environment, in our relationships, in our connections, and of course in ourselves. So a big part of this is looking at how much of your own healing work have you truly solidified so that you can stand in a balanced place and watch and observe when certain parts of yourself are triggered, but you're not actively contributing to that energy anymore. And again, because it's so primal and so natural, it can be something that isn't even considered or challenged, meaning it's something you could just do instead of seeing or understanding how that's affecting your energy as well as what you're putting out in the environment around you. So this deeper root chakra healing is also what we're embracing as a gift to your own soul's journey and a gift to the planet, a gift here that is reminding you that the best energies are within your power, within your expression, but now it's coupled with your own higher consciousness. So we have new potentials here, new energies rising up, which is very important to notice and focus on as a darkness descends. Because as that energy descends and escalates, there's also so much more light on the planet than ever before. There's more higher consciousness on the planet than ever before. And that's also what makes this such a pivotal time on our planet, is that there are more energetic beings with a higher light frequency and more access to their own power who can beautifully redirect us into new potentials and outcomes. And that is something to look at in yourself, to understand in yourself, because when I speak about your light, well, that's different for everyone. That's very personal. That's something that you know, you're in contact with. And what that means to you is going to be your own specific definition. But that's also part of why you're here, is to be different, to step away from the traditional approach, the traditional programming that has been prominent and dominant. And Pluto in Capricorn is what is disrupting those traditional models, stirring it up, creating very big shifts and changes so that there's an energy here that we can't deny. We can't deny that we're supposed to move forward and that there's parts of ourselves that are ready for this next chapter and this new energetic paradigm. So you may have some memories or energies come to your conscious awareness that connect directly to your own Atlantis experiences. And if that doesn't resonate, if you don't feel a connection to Atlantis for whatever reason, then trust that in yourself, most definitely, and look at perhaps other energies or other messages that you're feeling around the fall of civilization, around an energy that is sweeping through the planet that's changing it dramatically and drastically, and also what that means for you at a soul level, where your soul has had other experiences that are very similar. There are parts of our world that will never go back to what we knew before. There are still big changes to come as we proceed into this decade. There are going to be energies that escalate and increase. There's also going to be energies that become even more uncomfortable. So this is certainly not an easy ride. And in addition to the USA Pluto return, we also have the Neptune opposition occurring, which is where transiting Neptune in Pisces is in opposition to the natal Neptune in Virgo in the USA chart. And that is specifically at 22 degrees. So 22 degrees of Virgo is the natal Neptune. And we've been experiencing the Neptune opposition in Pisces. And that, of course, has brought up health issues, energies around our own healing, our own physical bodies and what we need in order to feel grounded and strong, as well as dealing with everything that is unseen, which is the realm of Neptune and Pisces. And I do talk about this more on my YouTube playlist that is titled USA Pluto Return Charts. And there's a video specifically on the Neptune opposition. So we have the two outer planets making big, drastic energy shifts in our lives and in our world. And this is what we're feeling. This is the ongoing theme. And this is also how we're getting stronger. We're becoming wiser. We're understanding more. We're trusting ourselves. All of this is our spiritual path. This is our spiritual journey. This is the soul mission work right here. It's right in front of us. We are in it now. It's not going away. It's not easing up. It's going to become more intense, and we're going to get stronger, and we are made for this. We are made to be this strong. We are made to persevere. And you are also calling upon lifetimes of experience of these deep themes. So that's what's being activated within us, where we are having these memories of other instances, other times that we came to the planet, that we were present and here and had very good intentions, clear intentions, and the cycles were bigger than us, the energies were bigger than us. But this time it's different. We are bigger than some of these cycles because we hold a higher consciousness. We hold a higher light that's very strong and potent, and it's making big shifts in the Earth's energetic experience, even if it doesn't look like that in the physical world just yet. So we are practicing what it means to stand strong and hold a certain frequency amongst the chaos and disruption, amongst the corruption and turmoil. And there's a very interesting dynamic that's also showing up here, where if you, again, feel that connection to Atlantis, or even if you hold an Atlantis consciousness of some sort, which is a higher understanding that in order for there to be harmony on the planet, we need both and all energies to be working together synergistically. And more specifically, the masculine works with the feminine honors the masculine gives to the feminine. There's this back and forth dance and dynamic that has ease and flow and grace. And when that's out of balance, when you have too strong masculine energies or too strong feminine energies, there's something that can be missing in the equation. So when we take this and look at the world at large, when we have too much shadow masculine, what does it evolve into? Well, the feminine wants connection. The feminine wants to relate, to communicate, to have an understanding, to know what is happening and to both create and find safety, a safe place, because that's where feminine energy can truly bloom and awaken, is when there's a feeling of safety. But when that isn't prominent or provided for, then the feminine energies shift as well. So what we're each being given an opportunity to practice is how to feel safe within ourselves, how to develop that level of safety and security, even when it doesn't seem present in the world around us. It's understanding we have the ability to create that in ourselves, to give that to ourselves, and to make it a priority so that we can feel safe to be here, to be in these bodies, to be in our energy fields, to share our gifts, to understand more of what we're capable of. So that feminine desire for safety is primal. And when that isn't present, it turns into, or it can turn into, more shadow feminine energies or more expressions that are essentially about finding safety. And that has been something that masculine energy has provided, or has the desire to protect or provide, whether that is within a family unit or in a bigger energy structure. It's the masculine that provides a bigger container or a bigger structure of safety. And that is how these energies can beautifully work together and both feel free to be themselves, to share, to express, to co-create. Now, in the world, when we don't have those energies in balance, when we don't have the masculine balanced by the feminine, it is out of balance. And that is what is also unfolding here, is that we're seeing how the energies have not been in balance in certain structures, in certain prominent patriarchal systems and our traditional programming around what leaders look like, what government systems look like. And what we're basically digging into is what hasn't been working, what is out of balance, what is unhealthy. And that's what's really being deeply renovated and restructured. And it's very uncomfortable. So then you have this very intense, out of balance, shadow masculine energies that are dominating or appear to be dominating, but they're also at a lower consciousness that aren't able to recognize where there is a need, meaning there is a lack of recognition of what's needed to balance the energy, to solve the problems, to move through and find new solutions. There isn't even that awareness of what is missing. And so part of what so many of us are doing is that we are shifting these dynamics, and it has required us to do that within ourselves at first, meaning you've had to do that deep inner work, the healing work, the shadow work, the ego work, the emotional work, all the work. And what it has brought up is what you've needed to balance, even though you are most likely dominant in one expression or another. This is showing you that now you have an understanding of what it means to see all of your energy, to awaken to all of yourself, all parts of you across all timelines. Very big work, very significant, even brutal at times, but it's also brought you a lot of wisdom, gifts, evolution, and has certainly changed your frequency. So now here we are, essentially starseeds and lightworkers being ahead of the curve, ahead of the majority, as you know, and that's exactly perfect because people are needed on this planet who have that higher consciousness, who see what's out of balance and can then course correct it. Meaning you can then create that harmony, that synergy, that energy in your own life, in your own self, and that's where you will continue to thrive because essentially you've moved past what was missing and out of balance in previous lifetimes. You're understanding at a more personal level maybe what it's all been about, what you've been learning, why certain lifetimes or soul energies have been stronger or bigger for you, and what that's been about. Because now you're able to harness all that, harness that power, harness that light, and use it in these higher frequencies in order to keep moving forward in your life, to understand how powerful you are as a creator, that you can co-create anything, and that part of what you're doing now is traveling with that energy instead of abandoning it, instead of leaving it on the side of the road or surrendering to it completely. Because I think that part of what is unfolding here is that this energy that's playing out is very much related to Atlantis consciousness, and it's related to the parts of ourselves that thought we had to be a certain way in order to feel powerful, to feel recognized, to feel valuable, in order to be seen or known as something in our lives, whatever that might be. And everything you've done in this lifetime has helped you to understand that exactly who you are is exactly what's perfect, what's needed. There's nothing you have to let go of or permanently shift unless you want to, but instead it's seeing that it's because you're different. That's what's going to lift you up, make you successful, help you to keep going, and understand the new potentials that may await you as we move through this decade. I'm also seeing that many people here on the planet have karmic rewards for holding the light during Atlantis, meaning as Atlantis fell, or as other civilizations fell, again, take it and apply it however it resonates with you, is that you came onto the planet to hold the light, but there wasn't enough support on the planet. There wasn't enough energy that supported you. The consciousness was not that high, whereas now it's very high. It's a very evolved consciousness on the planet. And there are parts of your energy that are seen, recognized, and needed more than ever. But you have karmic rewards for holding the light as other civilizations fell, as other things crumbled and were no longer present in our reality. So your rewards are coming over the next number of years to lift up the collective energy field higher. And how this looks is that you could have some really amazing, happy developments occur in your life, which could feel out of place with what other people are experiencing or moving through. Meaning you could actually have some of the best years of your life during all this turmoil, during everything that's unfolding. And it could be a very odd experience to navigate at times where you may feel guilt, like you have to give it away, like you have to disperse it, like you shouldn't be this happy. You're going to feel the energetic differences. And yet what you're offering through your karmic rewards, through these very positive developments and energies, is that you are showing people hope. You are giving them understandings of what is still possible, even as they move through some very intense energies. You're helping to guide people forward, to remind them there's more than this, there's more ahead, keep going, do your work. That's also what's coming up very strongly here, is that there's many people who are just starting to tip their toe into personal work. And this is the deeper stuff, the shadow work, the healing work, all the things that we know about. They're just getting started, and they're going to need to understand why you do this kind of work. Why? What's the incentive? What's it about? It's hard. It sucks. It's emotional. It's not something you look forward to, but it pays off. And so many of you are going to be shining the light and showing them that this is how I've transformed my life. It's been better on the other side. I am more myself. I am more at peace with myself. I'm more in my own energy. And that's where you are truly a light worker. You've worked it. You've worked it a lot, and it's been beyond and harder and tougher. But it wasn't like you're here to be a light coaster where you just coast along and do nothing. No, when we say light worker, that's a lot of energy right there. There's a lot there that has been held, transmuted, triggered. Everything that you've been through is meant to keep you going forward. And that's what you're demonstrating now. You're going to be demonstrating that to more people. But keep in mind and remember that they still have their own sovereign will, their own personal choices to make around what they do, how they do it, what matters to them, the type of work they want to do. But many of you are going to have some very good years ahead, and it's going to feel odd when you look at how others are moving through this time. And that's how you know they're on a different timeline. They are in a very different energy field. They're on a different path, especially in their soul growth. And that's okay. That's beautifully divine. You could also, again, you could feel a guilt around this where you have all these beautiful things happening for you and other people can seem very separated from that energy or that experience where they're having the exact opposite experience of being at the bottom of the well, of undergoing a lot that's intense, uncomfortable, emotional. But keep in mind, they are also powerful. They are not alone. They are always connected with God, Source, Spirit, the universe, should they choose that belief, should they go there for support. And so many of you are in this current timeline of holding a light frequency that's above the matrix, that's above the 3D reality. And now your practice, your soul growth is maintaining it, living there, staying there, being in that frequency, honoring that for yourself. Even when there's days or periods of time when you dip back down or go back in or need to do something that feels really uncomfortable, this is where you also practice coming back to that new frequency, understanding that it's now your home, it's now your reality, and that it's exactly as it should be. And to also look at what is coming up for you. If you're feeling responsible for others, that could be something that you have worked with through many lifetimes. And of course, if they are loved ones, they are parents, siblings, children, partners, all of the people who are close to your heart, of course you're going to feel a certain responsibility. But there's also an energy here of loving and accepting everyone where they're at, what they're moving through, offering or doing what you need to do or want to do when you can, but to not sacrifice yourself. And that's another part of this phase, is to look at where your energy is going out and is it needed. Look at this with a new level of consciousness. Look at where you're looking to direct your energy or put your energy. Is this an old habit? Is this just a pattern you're used to? Are you comfortable over giving or over providing? Is that just how you've done life? And look at those patterns and understand, is this really serving me? Is this really serving others? Because sometimes what happens is that unconsciously we shut down our own power and we shut down other people's power by overdoing, over providing, over giving, and also over energizing the space, meaning you give too much or you overdo it to the point where you're essentially training people to rely on you. You're training them to allow you to do more or allow you to do things that they're perfectly capable of. So you want to look at this dynamic and adjust as needed. Of course, every situation's different and it does vary for each of us, but this is one way to look at your own energy frequency and understand where you're responsible and where you're not. A lot of starseeds come in with a heavy responsibility because you know at a deeper level, it's cellular, at a very deep cellular level of your being, that you feel a responsibility to help the planet. You have this responsibility to help others, help your family, help your friends, take care of things in your community and in your neighborhood. There's this heavy responsibility energy signature that is beautiful. It's one of your gifts. It's one area of your spiritual maturity where you want to make improvements. You want things to get better. But this is also adjusting it accordingly so that your responsibility also applies to your own energy, your own needs, what matters to you, and what you're doing with your time on the planet, where you're not carrying heavy burdens for other people that really aren't yours. And again, that could be part of this energy that you've been feeling or sensing, especially across multiple lifetimes. And you've been through big energy changes that have required you to take on more than your fair share. Well, at this time, Lightworkers and Starseeds are made to keep going forward. You're made to keep directing the energy into new places, new territories, new plateaus, similar to pioneers who are embarking upon a new adventure or a new journey, and they don't know what awaits. All they know is they're traveling with the tools that they have. Maybe there's a horse and carriage filled with all kinds of food and supplies, but it's moving forward into the new land, the new territory, so that these energies are firmly grounded on the planet and they're firmly rooted in the planet. So think of it this way. When we say firmly rooted into the planet, that goes back to the energy of the root chakra and why it's so necessary to clean up those primal responses, the fight or flight instinct, to be very aware of your reactions, your responses, when you're lashing out, what energy you're creating with other people. That is all about the root chakra, healing it, being aware of it, being conscious of it, because those are the energies that are also being rerouted into the planet at this time, but they're a higher frequency, meaning they are multidimensional energies. They are filled with more light. They are more expansive. They're able to really be grounded into this planet, and they're not going back to the fighting, the angry responses, the need to pull out a shotgun because someone disagrees with you. All of that is very primitive. And this is where we're each looking at our own internal reactions and responses to what's happening around us, as well as how we are really paying attention to our own nervous system, our own emotional bodies, our own fear bodies, how all of those systems work together. And that can be at a very unconscious level. But as we understand our own patterns and cycles with them, then we raise it up and it becomes conscious. So all of this matters. All of this is important, especially as we move through the next number of years. It's going to be more important than ever to have a healthy process for your anger, your reactions, your responses. You're going to want to have essentially a healthy process for every single chakra. You want to have a way to recognize what's going on within you, how you can be conscious of what you're creating, what you're putting out there, how you're using your words, how you're sharing your energy. There's so many ways this can be seen, but understand that it's more important than ever, because when you're truly embracing the 5D energy frequencies, there's things that will fall away, that will no longer resonate. You'll no longer have the same response or reaction. You'll no longer have that same emotional trigger or unhealthy ego expression. There's things that you're realizing it's not worth my energy, or I don't want to participate in that. I don't want to contribute to that. I don't want to be a part of that conversation. I'm not going to bring up this topic with my family because I don't want this to be something that influences or affects our dynamic. Those can all be beautiful intentions. And of course, there's no one right response or way to handle all this, but this is what we're practicing, is how to be more aware of it, how to really embrace it so that we can handle these bigger waves that are coming, especially during the USA Pluto return and as Pluto moves into Aquarius. So essentially on our planet, we are learning what it means to balance energies, to balance feminine and masculine, so there can be a beautiful harmony and a beautiful synergy between them. A synergy that is healthy, loving, kind, compassionate, strong, and something that you can trust, something that you can believe in, and then taking your energy, moving it forward, and really opening up to creating more of the life that's perfect for you, that's best for you, and understanding that that's how you show people hope. That's how you give them a path forward, and understand that there's more than just what's happening in the world at large. There's more than what's playing out, and that they can move forward as well, and that they can develop those tools in themselves. So stay open to any of your soul gifts emerging, any gifts from your lifetimes in Atlantis, any energy themes, anything coming up around Atlantis, or again, any other soul experiences that maybe you held the light and it didn't seem to make a difference. It didn't seem to matter. That's another thing that can come up for a lot of starseeds and light workers, is that you can feel this is futile. What's this all about? I don't even know why I'm here. This doesn't make a difference. But that would be something to look at and shift in yourself, because you're not alone. There are literally millions of people on the planet holding a much higher frequency and consciousness than ever before. That is thrilling. That is exciting. That has never happened before on this planet. And it's happening because of the collective energies, the collective starseed lightworker energies, and what they're truly contributing. So you could have more, again, of your Atlantis gifts open up, your spiritual gifts, more things coming through that at first make no sense, quote unquote. You're like, I don't even know what this is about. This is really odd. What does this mean? But you have karmic rewards or karmic gifts coming in that are going to click, that are going to help you see things and what's possible for you in a whole new way. And it will help lift you up out of any density or turmoil that maybe you're feeling or experiencing at times. Some of us have had multiple lifetimes in Atlantis. And so that's where you could even have some confusion of what's going on, but maybe you have one prominent lifetime or one bigger lifetime. I know that I was a seer in one of my Atlantis lifetimes. And another times I was a mother. And as a seer, my partner was a scientist, very technical, and there was a beautiful synergy and harmony there that felt very effortless. I feel like what we're stepping into is more of this deeper knowledge that we hold. And it's interesting because I'm seeing that so many of you had to get rid of the traditional programming, or what you thought life on Earth would be, what you thought you would do, what you thought your occupation would be, or the life you would create. It's like there's been so much more that's been activated that it looks really different than anything you could have expected. And maybe it's felt like it's thrown you off from your own life expectations. But what I'm seeing is that so much has prepared you. It's prepared you for the next steps. It's prepared you for where you're going in this decade and what is possible for you. And it's also helped you understand that you're more than what just those expectations might have been. So it's a very dynamic time. We know that. Again, I see the energies escalating. I don't see it going away. There's things that we're never going to go back to, but there's new potentials and experiences that we are co-creating now. And that's what matters. That's the focus. So stay aware of any of these Atlantis activations, even if you don't understand them in the moment. Understand that they are supporting you, helping you connect with more of your true self and what you're here to embody on the planet, as well as knowing that we have cosmic support at this time. Keep in mind that Atlantis was a Pleiadian experiment, and we just had some very big Pleiadian activations with the Taurus lunar eclipse at 27 degrees of Taurus, plus the North Node in Taurus, plus we also had that Pluto in Capricorn trining the North Node in Taurus. So we've had a lot of energies here that are bringing in Pleiadian frequencies, transmissions, and downloads, and these are energies that are guiding us. They're not saving us. They're not going to intrude. They're not going to inject themselves in any way. Rather, these are energies that are supporting, and they are here for anything that we may need, ways that we can understand what's going on, also to help us detach and remind ourselves that we're more than just this lifetime. We're more than just this earthly experience. In fact, your energy comes from other places far, far away, and you could feel like you're literally embodying multiple different frequencies, multiple different light codes and energies that are even unfamiliar to you at times. But this is exactly what's needed. This is exactly why it's perfect, because you are different. You're holding different energy. You're shining a new light in a different light. It's exactly right on time. And this is why we're doing it differently now. This is why, even as things permanently change on the planet, we still move the energy forward. We're creating new communities, new societies, new experiences on this planet. And this is why we're here. This is why it matters. This is also why we're designed to keep going. Now, I want to share with you an artist who makes some incredible imagery. And I first came across his work back in 2012 or 2013, and I've always been drawn to it. It's just beautiful images. I want to share it with you in case it also activates something in you at a very deep level. His name is Daniel B. Holman, and his website is awakenvisions.com. I have put some of his imagery on the podcast slideshow with his permission to use it, of course, fully crediting him. But I wanted to share this with you because his work, like many others out there, has activation qualities in it, light code activations. When you look at some of these pictures, you may just feel something come alive in you. You may feel it speak to you in a whole new way. I find these images to be not only beautiful, but really incredible of what they speak to us about at a DNA level. So, sharing with you his work in case it helps open you up to more of who you are, what you're here to embody and embrace in yourself, as well as any of those Atlantis activations or energies that are speaking to you for a very divine purpose. As always, thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. It's a delight and a pleasure to connect with you through this energy frequency. You can find out more about me over at mollymccord.online. That's where you'll find a free library of business development courses for those of you who are embarking upon more of your soul mission work and who need help with getting some things going in your business. And please check out my YouTube channel where you'll find multiple playlists on astrology topics that I also hope open you up to more of your energy, your own gifts, what you're capable of doing here on the planet in this lifetime, and all the beautiful ways that astrology speaks to us. I'll be back here every Wednesday and Monday for a new podcast episode. Thank you so much for joining me. In the meantime, I wish you a beautiful day ahead, and I'll see you back here soon.